I love the way these came out. Let's talk about how I did them. So for my curly pieces, I use this 22-inch bulk Empire human hair. And then of course I use some pre-stretched Kanekalon, my braiding gel, mousse, and assorted combs, clips, and brushes. I started by parting my hair from ear to ear. It's a little bit crooked, but I ended up fixing it once I got to it. That was just kind of my rough part to gauge where I needed to be with my other parts. I started in the back. You want to start in the back because this is the most, it's when you're freshest. I start in the back just because it's the hardest part to do, the hardest part to part. So we're doing the back first. And what I always do is I just do my rough part and then I get my braid gel and I clean my part up. Now this rack that I have, you can get these on the internet, but they make braiding, doing knotless braids a lot easier because you're gonna have to do so many small sections of hair. So it just makes it easy to go ahead and section it out first. And this has I want to say 5 different layers, so it can fit quite a bit of hair on it at one time, and that just helps you to not have to separate the hair out as you go. Now you add each section as you braid. So this is me starting the braid. And once I get that first little pass done, I'm going to grab me a piece of hair just like this. And you want to master this hold right here. You want to hold it just like this or something similar so that it's nice and tight. And then you just slide it in there and you just continue braiding like you would with your natural hair. And if that was a little fast, don't worry. I'm going to show you 2 different braids and I'm going to continue showing you how I add the hair. So don't worry. Now, also, I want to note that you only add the hair on the right or on one side. So choose either your right or your left and only add hair on that side. It helps to keep the sections even. And I add every single time I get to my right side, I add hair. That way you're adding to each of the 3 sections. Now, this is how you get that grip on the hair. Just practice this a few times, especially if you're new to knotless braids. If this is your first time doing knotless braids, this is going to make your life a lot easier and it's going to make the process a lot more smooth. So just practice this a little bit so that you can get a nice tight grip and it'll make your braids look a lot neater, I promise you. Now the way I do it, I would usually add 6 sections of hair, 6 pieces of hair, just to keep it nice and even. But 5 was doing it. The way that the size of the sections that I did, 5 was the perfect amount. So yeah, I just had to work with 5 and I ended up having to kind of borrow hair from sections. But ideally you would like to do the sections so that you can add your sections in increments of 3s, because you want, like I said, you want every section to be even. So that just makes it a lot easier. Now, what you just saw was I put a little braid gel on the tip of my fingers. When you come to the end of your natural hair, you want to make sure that you're blending that out nicely so you don't have your hair poking out of the braid and making it look frizzy when your hair ends. And this also helps to stretch out your natural hair a little bit and make that a nice seamless transition. Now when it's time for you to add your curly pieces, you don't want to fold it over in half. You only want to leave 2 inches on the top, just that small straight piece at the top of the curly hair, and you put that in one section and then the curly piece in another section and start to braid just like you would with the straight pieces. Like I said, the only difference is you're not folding it in half, you're only folding that top straight piece. And then you just, after you braid down a little bit, you remove that curly section. You don't have to put it in your mouth. You can use a clip, but I was trying to speed through this. So we just, we do what we have to do. And so you braid down a little bit more and then you add another piece. Now I ended up using pretty much the entire 2 bundles of the bulk curly hair. So if you like the density of mine, you want to make sure that you're doing sections that will allow you to use the entire 2. I had just a little bit left over, maybe 1/8 of 1 bundle. So if you like the density of mine, then you want to use most of that hair. Another quick tip, adding small sections of hair, to me it seems that it tangles a lot easier. So don't add a lot of really small curly pieces. Just add some nice thick not too thick, but like don't go crazy. But I feel like when you add really thin sections of hair, it seems like those pieces tangle a lot easier. Now what you see me doing here is just refining my part with my braid and lock gel. Braid and lock gel is very important to knotless hairstyles. Back in the day when they used to use just like grease or some oil or something on our roots, it was when we were getting braids with the knot and our scalp wasn't showing as much, our parts weren't showing as much, our natural hair at the base of the braid was not showing. So it didn't matter that we didn't use the braid and lock gel because they put an outsized proportion of braiding hair on our natural hair. So you weren't really seeing the base of the braid. It didn't look as scalpy. But with the knotless braids, the appeal of the knotless braids is that they look a lot more natural, and with that your roots are going to show a lot more. So you want to make sure those roots are nice and flat. So use a good braid and lock gel that's going to hold you down for the duration of your hairstyle. And also a good benefit of this is it helps you to grip the hair. If you're not a professional braider, or if you just need a little help, maybe you've been braiding for a while but you just need a little help getting a good grip on your hair, it makes it really easy on my hands when I have the braid and lock gel, because that silky braiding hair is not just slipping through my hands. It gives me a good tight grip on the braids, and it also, like I said, it helps to blend your natural hair with the braiding hair. So a lot of us are natural these days. Back in the day when we were getting those knotted braids like body plaits, we had perms, so we didn't really have to blend our hair as much. It wasn't as much of a task to blend our hair. But if you have natural hair, which if you are watching this channel, then most likely you do, then you want to make sure you have a nice braiding gel that is going to help you to blend out your hair, that's going to help you to get a nice good grip, and it's going to help you to get flat roots. So those are the little things that you do to help to give you that slight that professional finish on your braids. So this is the last braid that I'm going to show you guys, but like I said, I really wanted to take my time and show you a lot more footage of me actually doing the braid and some close-ups and not speeding through it, because at the end of the day, I do want this to serve as a tutorial. I want you to get something from these videos. I don't want it to just be entertainment. So I truly hope this helps, and if you are trying to master your boho knotless, you don't want to go and pay rent prices for braids. I hope this is helpful for you, or helpful to you. Another thing that I say is good to master is braiding like this. I don't know if this is called overhand or underhand. I don't know what it's called, but it really helps if you are able to braid your hair this way. As you see, when I start out with my hands in a different position, but mastering this overhand or underhand, please let me know in the comments. I think it's overhand. Mastering this overhand technique really helps to make the process a lot smoother, and to me, it goes by, if you're able to braid that way, it helps you to braid faster, and it's a lot less taxing on your hands. So try that out. I didn't used to braid like that, and I learned that technique, and it's been really helpful for me. And I want to show you another view of me doing that overhand method. So if you want to slow that down within YouTube, you can do that in the settings. Just slow that part down and master that technique. I promise you it will help your hands a lot. I don't know, the method that I used to use was a lot harder on my hands, and I don't know what that's called either. Maybe it's the underhand, but the way that I used to do it, it was just too much on my hands, and the braids did not look as tight. So this has helped me to develop my braiding skills a lot. Try it out. You never know, it might help you. Everybody's different, but try it out and it might really be useful to you. Now, I just want to remind you at this point that if you want to get any of the products in this video, you can go to kellyloganhair.com. I have an entire range of hair care products specifically made for textured hair that are going to help you to get the best styles and style your hair effectively. So if you want to get the braid gel or the mousse or scalp oil, shampoo, conditioner, anything you need, you're going to find it on my website, kellyloganhair.com, and use the code YouTube15 if you want to get 15% off of your first order. All right, so y'all see I did another outfit change. So this was the next day, and I finished the back. The back was looking good, so I was feeling good about it. And this is me starting out the stitch braids. Now, I am not a master stitch braider. When it comes to doing it on my own hair, I'm a lot better at doing it on someone else's hair. But I'm trying to get better at doing it on my hair, because doing just regular braids has kind of phased out. Stitch braids is almost the expectation when you're doing to the scalp braids. So even if I can get a vaguely stitch pattern in there, I'm going to try to do that. So this is how I get it done as somebody who struggles to do stitch braids on their own hair. So I will note, the thing that's important to keep in mind here is how much hair you are adding to the braid for your density hair. So just be mindful of that. I don't know how chunky you want your braid to look, your braids to the scalp. If you want them to look a little bit more natural in front, or if you want them to look kind of chunky, you just have to be mindful about how much hair you're adding. So these sections are obviously a lot thinner than the sections that I'm adding to the braids in the back of my hair, because I want it to look like a natural transition. I don't want it to look too bulky at the start of the braid. But yeah, this is how I get it done. I hope you guys, if you guys are visual learners, you can see what I'm doing. But I just want to note that so on one side, I'm adding braiding hair. On the other side, I'm doing my stitch. So right here, when I get to this side, you're going to see I'm going to add another piece of braiding hair. I almost said another slice of braiding hair. I'm going to add another piece of braiding hair. And then when I get over to the other side, that's when I'm going to add my stitch. And having this organized method makes it so much easier, and also using that braid gel to keep my extra hair out of the way, the part that I'm trying not to braid, to keep that out of the way, that braid gel comes in handy for that as well. So there are so many uses for that braid gel, and it helps me to keep everything nice and neat, because if I don't have my hair pushed back, I'm going to end up grabbing too much hair, and then I'm going to miss out on that stitch pattern. Because obviously the goal is to not, grab all of the hair with each section. You just want to grab that one part that is creating the stitch, if that makes sense. I am going to master these stitch braids. Like, I want to develop this technique because they're so cool and neat looking to me. I definitely want to be able to stitch braid my own hair, and I mean, I do an alright job, but I definitely, that's a skill that I want to develop. So if you have any tips, let me know in the comments. And it wouldn't be me if I didn't let you know that you definitely need to keep in mind your hair density when you're doing these braids. Don't add too much hair to thin parts of your hair. If you have a thin section of your hair, then you don't need to add too much hair to it. The density of the knotless braids needs to match the density of your hair. So if you're thinning out, make sure you put just a little bit of hair. Otherwise, you're going to make your situation worse. All right, so now you guys, I'm just curling the ends. I don't look happy right here, but I was so happy to be finished, y'all. This is the best part. I just want to know, I did not dip the curly human hair in the hot water because I didn't know what it would do to it. So I just left that out and used a flexi rod to just curl it and make everything look nice and curly. You could put human hair on the ends, but honestly, I'm not trying to buy more human hair than I have to. So I just curled the ends and it looks perfectly good that way. Next, I just sealed up my braids with a little bit of mousse and added me some of my hair and scalp oil to my scalp. This feeling is unmatched. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. And yeah, I think I'm gonna be doing a lot more with weave styles throughout the summer. I know a lot of you are here for my mini braid videos. Those do really well, but I am working out a lot and I need to have these braids in my hair. So, all right, y'all, I hope this was really helpful and I hope you will come back for the next one. See you then.